This is Christopher Hart. My friend Sam Mowry died on July 20th. If you'll indulge me for a few minutes, I'd like to talk to you a bit about Sam, who he was, how he came into my life, and how he changed it. Of course, everyone you know changes your life. When you open your heart and connect with someone, you change, sometimes in little ways, sometimes in enormous ways. I feel this about the people involved in EXOPLANETARY, but Sam Mowry had a way of involving himself in people's lives and really showing you that he loved you. All of my memories of Sam are happy ones, and every story I have about him involves his indefatigable kindness to me and everyone else. It was just as we were finishing up the first season of EXO that I met Sam. I was summoned. There's really no other way to put it. A few actors and radio theater people were asked to come to the place I am now, Sam's studio. You've seen it in many of our pictures on social media with those theatrical red curtains and Sam's old radios. Sometimes you walk into a room and you feel right at home. And that was the case here. We read through a few scenes of an adaptation of The Island of Dr. Moreau, and I made some aggressive, snarling noises as a beast man. And afterwards, Sam and I got to talking about radio theater, old movies, and it was that sort of bonding you do with someone who becomes one of your best friends. Maybe you don't know it when you start talking, but you know it when the conversation was over. I was summoned again not long afterward, on a sunny afternoon, for a visit under Sam's famous Casbah, a sort of covered patio where many a salon for theater people and other friends had been held. It was there that Sam encouraged me to start recording EXO in his studio. You could have knocked me over with a feather. The studio provided my show with something it hadn't truly had before, a home. Sam and his wife, Cindy McGean, took me and my actors in so warmly. And it's the greatest gift I can ever imagine. It was one I was eager to return. For the remainder of our time together, I helped him with every production of his company, the Willamette Radio Workshop. I even got to perform with him a few times. Sam was a friend, but he was also a mentor. I have always been a reluctant leader. I just don't see myself in that role. As I grew up, I also had some examples of leadership that didn't exactly leave me eager to be in charge. Unfortunately, to do what I've needed to do to make EXO happen, I needed to find that part of me and get it in gear, to varying degrees of success. What Sam taught me was how to be a positive presence in people's lives, how to deal with obstacles, how to foster a sense of fun and community, and really how to be the best version of myself. We shared deeply about our hopes and dreams for creating shows and spaces for performing. It wasn't unusual for him to bring up some empty restaurant space or office building or some other edifice and muse that it would be the perfect place to start a theater. As one of Portland's foremost and most beloved theater people, Sam was constantly looking for new ways to put on a show, even as poor health made it more and more difficult. Sam loved everything to do with radio. Something we both had in common was sleepless nights when we were young, searching the AM bands for what they now call OTR, old-time radio. Fibber McGee and Molly, Vic and Sade, the Jack Benny program, and, of course, Orson Welles. Because of Sam's voice, he drew a lot of comparisons to the great man. When Willamette Radio Workshop performed the War of the Worlds, he took Orson's parts. Who else could? But Sam also did an impressive Sidney Greenstreet, which was wickedly funny. Sam really loved the magical feeling of a device pulling voices out of the air, picking them up from faraway cities. He was, at heart, a romantic. Having Sam in my life meant that I was constantly coming up with characters that I wanted him to play. You've heard him as Long John Silver and a space cowboy named Jonas. I had so many more things I wanted him to play, but we didn't have the time. Sam is also in the plays I was finalizing at the time he passed. Knowing that these are probably his last performances in radio theater, well, that has been a big responsibility. Those of you who are Patreon supporters have already heard one of them, and the other is coming shortly. If you aren't a supporter, you'll hear them on the main feed in the coming months. Sam Mowry was one of the best friends I'll ever have. He taught me so much, gave me so much. We would meet people, total strangers, and he would introduce me as Christopher Hart, the creator of the science fiction audio drama podcast EXOPLANETARY, as if they might have already heard of me, and that were the greatest thing in the world. And there's another gift, teaching my tired, cynical heart to think that, yes, maybe it was the greatest thing in the world after all. This is what your friends do for you. The best friends teach you how to see yourself. They teach you their way of seeing you. Encountering so many of Sam's friends, one really amazing thing about this guy was that he did some version of this for nearly everyone. And now that he is gone, we each have the task of doing this for other people and teaching them to do the same. It's a legacy of love, and I hope that in telling you a bit about my friend Sam Mowry, who took a bow on July 20th, 2024, I am doing something to pass it on. I wanted to share a few moments of Sam from the show. This is from Pirates of the Cormorant Nebula, in which Sam played Long John Silver.
That's right, me hearties. The Hispaniola flies under the Jolly Roger. Hoist that sail, me lad. Raise the anchors.
Pieces of eight, pieces of eight.
You there, yon dour-faced swab. Old Barbecue has no time for the idle.
Keel on.
All in due time, Captain Flint. So, what say you, me bucko? Fill your hands, or face a lick of the cat.
Now, Captain Silver, you know that you're supposed to give the ship back after the ride is over.
Wolverton! Oh, curse me orbs at the sight of ya. I thought I was rid of ya long ago.
So long as I'm in exoplanetary land, the happiest place in the solar system, I'm going to be riding herd on all of the androids, and that includes you pirates.
Well, I never back down from a challenge. Take steel, Wolverton. I'll chum the waters with ya.
It'll take more than a cutlass to take me down, Silver.
Oh, you parry me at every turn. Not bad for a landlubber.
15 years in exoplanetary security services taught me a thing or two about how to defend myself.
I know a trick or two myself.
Sweep the leg.
Thanks for the tip, Birdie.
Avast there, Captain Flint. Ye were meant to be me own shipmate.
I'll take that cutlass, Silver.
Yeah, very well, Wolverton. You're the captain. But pity an old rogue his fantasies. I have a weakness for misadventure on the high seas.
No more scaring the guests, Silver. Stick to the script, understand?
I do, Captain. That I do. But the gold gets in me blood, and I cannot resist.
Here are some scenes from The Purple Fields of Violon and The Purple Rain, in which Sam played Jonas.
I'm not trying to be difficult. Everything just feels...
Afternoon, folks. You're trespassing. Afternoon. We don't mean to intrude.
How did you sneak up on us like that?
That'd be my
sense of-
business, I reckon.
We were just passing through. We were looking for a friend. He may have come through here and not understood that he was trespassing.
And 2 humans. Might have come up here from the beach.
I might have seen them. You say humans as if you two weren't. Human, that is.
Well, my name is Alice Wolverton, and I have upgrades that help me look like an ordinary human. And Mother Invention is built to look human, but we're both mechanical people. Post-humans.
Post-humans?
I think we'd all be more comfortable if you put your weapon down, sir.
What's your name?
They call me Jonas.
Nice to meet you, Jonas.
Please put down your weapon, Jonas. We don't mean you any harm.
People who come here usually mean one of 2 things, Mother Invention. Either they mean to exploit this planet, which amounts to harm, or they come here to get away from the rest of the universe.
Like Alice said, we're just passing through.
We're looking for our friend.
Fine. I'll help you find these people, but you'd better be getting these other humans off the planet.
Why?
Because they aren't safe here. It's probably fine for androids.
Post-humans.
For post-humans. But this planet isn't suitable for human settlement.
What do you mean? There's a village, and you seem healthy enough. What's going on here?
We'll find your friends, get them on their way, and then we can talk. I have a feeling they're in danger.
All right.
For years, I was an executive with EXOPLANETARY. Unlike many of my peers, I didn't seek power. I only wanted money. I needed as much as I could get my hands on, because I lived with a terrible secret. I was claustrophobic. Growing up in small rooms and tiny corridors all over the solar system caused me endless anxiety. As a child, I quickly found solace in sports. Rugby. The game required a pitch, a wide open area. Oh, and I could breathe freely in the time I played. It drove me to become better, to train every spare hour to win money for grateful gamblers. I was able to cultivate a career, hobnobbing with what passed for nobility in our time, the executives. I glad-handed my way from one desk job to another. Open-plan workspaces gave way to spacious private offices with large windows. I was no less driven in the corporate world. My sanity depended on my ability to exist within the largest rooms I could find. Memories of the broom closet apartment I grew up in was enough to push me to greater and greater success. My career eventually led me to the EXOPLANETARY Board of Directors. The wealth I earned as a captain of industry afforded me a massive home. I called it the Fishbowl, a satellite that orbited the moon, surrounded by thick glass, the same kind they used to protect the Apollo footprints in Armstrong Park. The solar shields protected my privacy, but allowed me to survey the entire moon from orbit, or even visit other planets